At this stage in the game, you have loaded up Google Reader with a ton of great content. You have searched through that content, scanned it, read it, made a decision as to which content you think is the best and therefore which content you want to share with your market as part of the curation exercise. And you've made a decision as to where you want to send that curated content: Twitter, Facebook, niche social network, etc. So now we need to talk about how exactly you're going to go about distributing the content that you've curated. So first off, I want to talk about Facebook. And there are a lot of tools out there that will let you send updates to Facebook pages. However, you do not want to use them. Instead, if you're going to update your Facebook page, it is imperative that you actually go to your Facebook page physically and enter in the update by hand. Why? Because Facebook does not give status updates that you put in there through a third-party service such as Hootsuite or whatever as much visibility as status updates or links or whatever that you post directly on the page yourself. Now, it kind of makes sense because people can spam the network via automated tools, but it's much tougher to do if you're entering in things by hand. So as part of Facebook's Edge rank, it appears that there is a differentiation made between posts that you've actually made physically yourself by hand and posts that you've sent out through some sort of auto posting or delayed posting service. As such, I do all of my postings on Facebook by hand. Now that means that in some cases I have to go to more than one place if I want a post to be on Facebook and somewhere else, because I can't use those auto posting type of utilities. That being said, the people that are my fans on Facebook actually end up seeing the posts that I make on it. So it's very, very, very important to do this by hand. We've done tests. Ed in particular spent a lot of time investigating this, and we have found without a doubt that in fact you do need to be making your Facebook posts by hand, otherwise they will not get the right distribution throughout your fans. So keep that in mind. If you want to send something to Facebook, you need to do it by hand. So a very quick look at how you post to your Facebook fan page by hand. I found something on my Google Reader that I thought was amusing and that I want to share with my friends and fans. So I'm going to click that post so that I can get the actual URL. If you copy the URL from Google Reader, you actually get the feed URL. And because of my anal retentiveness, I don't like that, and I want the actual URL. So I'm going to go to that page directly, copy the URL for it, head over to my Facebook fan page. This is a link. Paste it, attach it, choose a thumbnail. Oh, I don't like that one. I wanted the picture in it. And then, of course, because I'm curating here, I need to add my own thoughts, my own impressions of this. And then we're going to click Share. Now that's showing up on my Facebook fan page. And that is how you post to Facebook directly. Now there are a ton of Twitter clients available, and really which one you use depends on which one works best for you. But we're going to talk directly about how to just post to the Twitter page itself. Same deal. I'm going to take the link, copy it, paste it into my Twitter box, and then of course, as we are curating here, I'm going to add my own comment. And then, of course, we click our tweet button. Now, that isn't the most time-efficient way to do it. So next I'm going to show you how I've set up my Facebook fan page so that it posts directly to Twitter for me. And this is probably something that you want to put into place, because anytime that something is worth putting on your Facebook fan page, of course it's worth putting on Twitter as well. So to integrate your Twitter account with your Facebook fan page, you'll go to facebook.com/Twitter/ as you are signed in your individual profile. You'll be greeted with a page like this. Select the account that you want to link to Twitter, follow the steps that Facebook asks you to do to link those two accounts, authorize it with Twitter, etc. And when you do, next time you go to your fan page and make a post, you will actually immediately see that post show up on your Twitter account as well. And there are some settings also as far as which type of updates you would like to go through to Twitter. And of course, again, if something is good enough to put on a Facebook fan page, then it's absolutely good enough to send out to your Twitter folks. So go ahead and put that into place immediately. Now the next method that I want to take a look at is how to send something directly from Google Reader to Twitter. And this may be for a post that's interesting and funny, but probably isn't going to arouse a lot of discussion between folks, so may not really be something that you want to put on Facebook, but that for your hardcore folks who are on Twitter and following your updates, they may still be interested in it. And like I talked about in earlier videos, you know, Twitter is a great broadcast mechanism. It's a great place to send out a link and say, hey, this is cool. Facebook is better for discussion. So if you see something that's pretty cool, but that, you know, you don't want to clutter up everybody's Facebook stream with like 10 posts in a day, whereas people don't mind that so much on Twitter, this is a great option for sending stuff directly to Twitter. So what we've got down here at the bottom of this post that I've found that I thought was kind of amusing is a send to Twitter. And I'll show you how you set that up. You go on over here to settings, reader settings, and click send to, and then you just click your Twitter box. It'll give you a little pop-up and it may ask for some authorization, but I'm sure that you can follow those steps. And then if I go send to Twitter, it puts it in Twitter for me, and then I can click the tweet button and off it goes. Now, this was one of the main ways that I sent information from Google Reader directly to Twitter for a long, long time, and it worked great. However, I found what I think at this point is a better way, and that is something called bufferapp.com. Now, Buffer App, it has a browser extension that you install, Firefox, Chrome, whichever browser you're using. It's free, and what it does, watch their 38-second video, but basically what it does is it allows you to send out tweets on a schedule, and it attempts to schedule them at the time that Twitter is the busiest in hopes that you get the most response. And why I like this, although I'm not a fan of scheduling tweets in advance, is that this app does all the scheduling for you. So I don't have to think, oh gosh, do I want to send this at 3 o'clock or 3:30? It just automatically does it for me. And I'll show you on the back end how that works. So in settings, here are the times that it will tweet for me. So if I go into Google Reader and I select, say, 6 things to tweet because I think that they're interesting and I want to share them with folks, the first 3 will go out in the next day at 7, noon, and 4, and then the next ones will go out the day after. So it's really fantastic because one of the things that we do as curators is, you know, we'll batch our curation. So I'm going to spend a bunch of time in Google Reader, say every morning or every evening, and if I just send to Twitter, send to Twitter, send to Twitter as I'm going through Google Reader, that means that my tweet stream is just going to get blasted with, say, 5 links, you know, within a half hour or an hour of each other. I'm only hitting a small percentage of my audience who happens to be online at that moment. The rest of the folks aren't seeing what I'm sending out. And it could almost be sort of annoying if they see a bunch of stuff from me coming through within a short amount of time. With Buffer, I don't have to worry about the scheduling aspect of it in terms of really thinking about, oh, when do I want to send this out? And because they have a browser extension, it integrates directly into my Google Reader. And so I just come into Google Reader and I'll show you exactly how it works. I've got the browser extension installed up here in Chrome. And I will click it, see it grays out my window. And I also have the opportunity to comment on the post as opposed to just using the title and the link, which I love, 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 love. So I can put in my comment. And then click Add to Buffer. Should I choose to, I could also tweet it now, so this works as a solution for either way that you want to go. We go to Buffer, and my buffer, and you'll see that here is my next post that I just put in there, and it's due to go out tomorrow morning. So Buffer is fantastic, and it is what I am using now to send tweets out as I find them in Google Reader. Now, obviously, I can't send something from my Facebook fan page into my Buffer and then to Twitter, so it only works for stuff that I directly want to send to Twitter from Google Reader. But there's plenty of opportunity for that, like I said, because Twitter is a great broadcast medium. It's a place where people are there, particularly in our internet marketing industry, but also in other industries where they want to see, they're following you because you're an authority in the marketplace. You've given them something interesting to look at, and that's perfect. And you've continued to cement your reputation as an authority in your marketplace because you were able to find this great content for people to look after. Now, the final thing that you may want to do with that piece of content that you found is actually put it on your blog. And we'll use this as an example. I'll go over to my blog. Let's see. Add new post screen. And then I'm going to write a very quick blog post and obviously link back to this source and talk about how I thought it was amusing, and you guys should go check it out. So I've created a little post, best keyword searches for your site. I've linked to the original source because I thought it was amusing, and then I've added my own 2 cents, some of the funny things that my site ranks for and gets traffic for, just to carry on the meme. And then what's always a good idea, if you have an opportunity to do so, is to ask your blog visitors to participate in the conversation as well. And this is a perfect example of a curated post that has the ability to do that, because it's something that they had happen to them, I've had happen to me, and my audience probably has some of these as well. And so I'm going to say, what are the funniest ones that you've gotten ranked for? To encourage conversation. And even in curated posts, it's absolutely worthwhile to encourage conversation on your site. Of course, you can publish it immediately, or you can set it to publish later. But those are the main areas that you're going to be publishing to: your Facebook fan page, your Twitter account, and or your blog. Again, you may have additional places that you want to publish to in terms of your niche, and so you can work on those publishing platforms as well. I want you to keep in mind that, and this is sort of a social media fallacy that's been going on for some time, but publishing your content to a zillion places isn't necessarily the best thing for you and your reputation. Why? Because if you're just aggregating your stuff to, say, 200 different social networks out there, it's pretty clear that you aren't actually actively and interested in participating in that social network. And people can smell that a mile away. I mean, just like if you go to somebody's Twitter feed and you see it's broadcast, 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 and they never participate in a conversation, they never at somebody, you know that they're just automatically updating it somehow. And so rather than focus on getting your content, whether that's curated or original content, but rather than focus on getting it into as many places as possible, I think that it's much more effective for you to focus on getting that content to the places that matter the most. And in the internet marketing niche, for me, that's going to be Twitter, Facebook, and my blog. For you in your niche, it is most likely going to include Twitter, Facebook, and your blog, and there may be an additional component, a really, really active forum that you want to be a part of or something like that. It's unlikely that there will be many more places than that that are truly worth your time. So do keep focused on that. Keep focused on being a part of the community. And as time goes on and you're able to do that, you'll become much, much better at creating content, but also at curating content, because you'll be able to see what kinds of things elicit the most response from your readers. Now, when you see that a particular type of post that you have curated brings a lot of passionate response from your audience, you know that you can then create that type of post as well in your own original content and hopefully elicit that response from your audience also. Now, I don't mean when I'm saying that you should copy somebody else's post, but if this funny pay-per-click queries got a massive response on my site, it would behoove me, of course, to put together a full post about the different keywords that I've been ranked for on my site that are kind of funny, right? And I'm not copying them. I could even give credit when I publish my full list of stuff as opposed to this curated list. Back to these and saying that I got inspiration from them. Having already curated it once, it's really not necessary. But I could do a full-length thing knowing full well that since I've curated that and since people thought it was great and people had something to say about it, when I do it with my own style, my own riff on it, on my own site, do it 100% unique, of course, and with my take on things, I'm bound to get a really great response as well. So that's one of the great insights that you can get from curation, is really getting a peek at what kinds of content your audience responds to the most without actually having to write all that content yourself first. So it's almost like split testing. You put out 2 pieces of content one day at approximately the same time, say which one's going to get you the most the most responses, the most retweets, the most Facebook comments and likes, the most comments on your blog, whatever the case may be. But curation is fantastic just for dipping your toe in your marketplace and figuring out what they are. And these were 3 ways that you can publish that content that you've curated.